Hello there, neighbourhood, Tori here. How are we? Hope you're all doing well. So I have realised now, I think this is becoming like an annual tradition here on this channel. This video, my top 5 Grail Loungeflies. I think this is now my like 3rd year of doing it. So I think it's now a tradition that we have to do every year. I can't remember if I do it, I've been doing it like beginning of the year or springtime, somewhere in that bracket. I've been doing it. So if you haven't watched the other 2 Grail Loungefly lists, basically what I do, it's pretty simple. I go through my top 5 Loungeflies that are currently on my wish list and I show you them and I talk to you about them and I kind of say why I haven't got them and if I plan on getting them, because not everything that's actually, I don't know if all collectors are like this or if it's just me. Sometimes I put something on my Grail list with the full intention of knowing I'll never actually have it for whatever reason. So we just have a little discussion about bags, really. So if you like all things Loungefly, keep on watching. I also thought the fact that I now have an actual Loungefly display, it's now like the perfect place to do the video here. And my lighting is being a bit funny for whatever reason, so we're just having to roll with it. So these bags are in no particular order. It's just I thought of them as I was narrowing down my top 5 for the video. The first bag is quite a new release. It has only been, I think it got released in January of this year, and it is a box lunch exclusive, hence why it's on my Grail list. Quite often box lunch and Hot Topic exclusives do eventually work their way over to the UK when Loungefly retailers over here do like get hold of them and then are able to do them as an exclusive through them. Or sometimes they'll get over here through like conventions or things like that. So this one is, as I said, a box lunch exclusive, and it is the Winnie the Pooh. Let me turn my brightness up for you. Winnie the Pooh. I don't know if it's actually got a proper name, but I've been calling him the Dapper Pooh Bear because he kind of reminds me a bit of like the Dapper Dans. So he's like a cosplay style, I think he's a mini backpack. That's what those bags usually are. And as you can see, he's got like the Dapper Dans style, oh, it's fading, hat on and matching like t-shirt, and then all over his face and like dripping down his t-shirt he's got lots of honey, which I thought was really cute. And also just on like the bottom of the bag you can see he's got his hands sticking out. When this bag first got announced and I was posting about it on my story, on my Instagram story, a lot of fellow like Winnie the Pooh collectors weren't really keen on it because of like the brown colours to it. But I'm a big fan of the Dapper Dans, if you didn't know, and I've always wanted to do a Dapper Day at Disney. And as you all know, I'm a big Winnie the Pooh fan, so this just felt like a perfect crossover between everything. But as I said, it is a box lunch exclusive at the moment, but that's not to say it won't eventually work its way over here. Bag number 2, again, it is another American exclusive. I'm not sure if it's box lunch or Hot Topic. I want to say it's box lunch because, as I will show you in a minute, I have got like the twin version of this bag and that was a box lunch exclusive, but it came over here as a Get Ready Comics exclusive. So that's what's making me want to say it's a box lunch, but if I'm wrong, do correct me. And that is this Captain Rex floral backpack. I think it is classed as a regular backpack, not the mini backpacks, because the one I have got, which is a twin, which I'll show you in a minute, is a full backpack. And as you can see, it is this like plain blue bag with Captain Rex's helmet on, with lots of floral flower designs around the helmet. And in case you don't know, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I love Clone Wars and like the Captain Rex, Ahsoka, Anakin, that trio of friendships is like my favourite thing ever. And that bag is just so stunning, especially when you look at a bag, the twin bag that I have, literally just behind me. This was the bag I was telling you about. It was a box lunch exclusive, but then Get Ready Comics were able to get it over here and sell it as an exclusive for them. And it's literally, you know, it's got the Loki helmet, which in case you didn't know, Loki is my favourite Marvel character, with the floral around it. Do you understand why I'm calling them like twin bags? Because it's literally the same concept. So I'm assuming this bag will be like the same size as this. And if they are the same literally the same concept, I love this idea. And I don't know if they do more characters like this, but I love the idea of having the helmet with the flowers around it. I'm here for it. I love it. So this is one of my favourite bags. And when I saw the Captain Rex one, It's a need. And literally everything about this bag does seem similar to that, like when you do zoom in on it. So Loki's helmet was embroidered and the flowers were printed. On here you can kind of tell that the flowers are printed, and I'm not sure how well you can tell, but like all the blue and black on Rex's helmet does look like it's embroidered. So okay, now bag number 3. We're getting on to a bit of a rant on this one, because technically if the world was a bit fairer, this wouldn't be on my Grail list. This would be on my shelves behind me. We would have had an unboxing for this, but you know, the world's not that easy, is it? So Loungefly is doing this little collection of princess sequin bags, and they're all stunning, but none of them really took my fancy, except for this one because it is my colour scheme, my favourite princess, and you know I love a sequin. So those 3 check marks, I was like, yes. It was only Loungefly that were posting about it, so whenever they only post about things, I assume it's just going to be America. And then Loungefly Europe did one post about it, and now I think it was the week before it was going on sale. So when Loungefly Europe posts about things going on sale, it means that they'll be going up on the Funko Europe website. And I think it was going up on can't remember what day of the week it was going up. I wanted to say a Thursday, but that seems a bit weird. It was definitely a day I was working. I remember it was a work day because it was a 5 PM release. Now, in hindsight thinking, I could have done some more planning into this. Usually with bag releases, I have my family help me out if it's at an awkward time, but I didn't think this was going to be an issue. I thought, you know, I leave work at 5. This is how close I live to my work. It takes me 1.5 songs to get to work. That's how close I live to my work, right? If you're like me and you measure time in songs. So I was thinking, you know, come home from work, finish work at 5, drive home, buy the bag. No, I was thinking that was a pretty good time frame. No, the bag sold out in about 30 seconds. And when I went on Instagram afterwards to, you know, have a little rant about it, or I could see more people saying they didn't get the bag than people actually saying they got the bag. And then I went on, I think it was Funko Europe's post I commented on saying, is there any chance there's going to be a restock? And I think that's what most of the comments were saying, was we need a restock. Like, that was so popular, it was so hard to get. One person replied to me saying that they heard somewhere that there's going to be a restock, but it won't be for a long time. So hence why this bag is here on the Grail list. And that is the Rapunzel sequin bag. Look how stunning it is. Their princess sequin bags are a very popular collection, so you've probably seen this before. Look how stunning it is. It's purples and pinks and yellows. My colours, my favourite princess. It's got a bow, look, it's got the lantern in the middle. Everything about it is so stunning. And also look at the zip for the front pocket. It's a frying pan. I love that little detail. And I love sequins and glittery things and stuff like that. I think you guys know that. But in my Loungefly collection, I actually only have one sequin bag. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why I don't have more sequin bags. So when I saw this and saw it was a sequin bag for my favourite princess, it was just crazy how quickly it sold out. So hopefully it gets restocked soon. Okay, moving on to bag number 4. And this kind of links up to what I was just saying, that I love sequiny and glittery things, but I only actually have one sequin bag in my collection. I was thinking about it the other day. Quite often when I'm planning outfits, whether it's for the parks or just a day home here, day in England adventuring, a day home, day out and about, just running errands or whatever I'm doing, all of my bags are like character related, quite often go with specific outfits and with colour things and theming and stuff like that. I've been looking into just getting like sort of like plainish bag that I could put with most of my outfits. In case you didn't know, my wardrobe is, I don't own any like dull clothing. My wardrobe looks like a rainbow's threw up all over it. So I was thinking, I don't have any I only have that one sequin bag, so I was like, Loungefly do so many just like plain coloured sequin bags. Why won't it like for some reason it wasn't accepting my Face ID or my password, and I was like, let me in my phone. So I thought this bag would be perfect to solve everything. It's a plain colour, one colour, so I'll be able to wear it with whatever outfit I want, so it would be able to be like a day-to-day bag. It's sequins, so got that sparkle, got that sequin to tick that box. I know you can get loads of different like sequin bags and loads of pink ones because we all know me, but I think my brightness is gone again. Why'd you keep going? This is my favourite like plain coloured sequin bag that I've seen. It's just like a really pale baby pink. The bow is like, it's like a reverse, so the bag is all sequin, but then the bow is like your normal Loungefly material of like the fake leather. And yeah, it's this really beautiful pale pink, sort of a bit like my dress, like that kind of pale pink. So it would literally match in with my entire wardrobe. Be a sequin bag, it's cute, I love it. I just don't know why I don't have many more sequin bags. It's a really big mystery to me. So I thought that would have to go straight at the top. So I thought that would be a good one to put in the top 5 of my Grail list because it's just kind of like a good staple. Do you know what I mean? Okay, and on to the 5th and final bag. If you have watched my other Grail Loungefly bag videos, I think I've already mentioned this one before. I don't know if it was last year's video or the first ever time I did this video, but I know I have definitely mentioned this before. So I'm bringing it back onto the Grails list because I still can't believe I don't have it. Back to the point with the Rapunzel bag, if the world was a bit of a fairer place, I would already have this in my collection. And that is the Disney Cruise Line bag. In case you're new to Tori and Wonderland, I went on a Disney cruise. I went on the Disney Magic in September 2021. I had my little like wish list of things I'd like to get on board, one of them being the Loungefly. But because it was the staycation for the UK, they had the Disney Magic and it went around different ports of the UK. And for what was weird to a lot of people, you'd have thought each time they went to a port, they'd restock. Apparently they weren't doing that. Apparently they came, you know, the ship came from America to the UK. It went on its first stop with everything fully stocked and then it worked its way around the UK. It was over here for like 3 months, you know, working its way around the country. You'd have thought they'd have restocked things, but they didn't. So obviously, first stop, I can't remember where their first port was. I went at Southampton. So it was quite later on into because it went all throughout the summer. So obviously my September sailing was quite late on. It started in the north of England and then worked south. So Southampton. As you can predict with things like this, a Disney cruise ship with stocked fully of Loungeflies coming over to the UK. My camera is now flashing that my battery is going to die. Let me be back. Charger secured. So when it was at its first port, then working its way around, and same, you know, when it comes to things like Loungeflies, obviously the Disney parks, it happens all over the place when you're in the collector world, unfortunately. You get the resellers. And for whatever reason, there wasn't a limit on how much you could buy. Quite often nowadays, you're getting limits on like 2 Loungeflies per person, or whatever the policy is. For some reason, the cruise didn't have this. So people were going in there buying like tens of Loungeflies at a time, just for when they got off the cruise, put them on eBay for a couple £100. So when it came time for me to hop on board the Disney Magic at Southampton, there was no Loungeflies. There's not even a Loungefly wallet. I just really wanted the cruise Loungefly for 2 reasons. 1, it is stunning, and 2, to like commemorate my Disney cruise. And there's quite a few different cruise Loungeflies, and there's new ones getting released, as you know. This was the one that I wanted from the cruise that they did have on board, but by the time I got on there it wasn't on board. And yeah, this is still the one I'd want to this day. I've looked at like newer cruise Loungeflies. This is still the one at the top of my wish list. So it's it's a sequin blue bag with a bow in white and blue with the Disney Cruise logo in the middle of the bow. Let me just zoom in on that for you. In the middle of the bow with the plaque Disney Cruise Lines Loungefly. Yeah, it just made no sense to a lot of people, the fact that they weren't restocking the ship throughout its duration in the UK, and also the fact that they didn't have a limit on how much you could buy. Because I think by now, with things like Loungefly and Disney and collecting, there's always going to be resellers, unfortunately. And I have a few rules when it comes to collecting in both Funkos and Loungeflies or whatever. One, and I think a lot of people do agree with me on this, never support a reseller. No matter how much you want the bag. Like, it took me a while to, it's just out of view, my Disneyland Paris 30th anniversary one, my only sequin bag. It took me a while to get that because when it got released in Disneyland Paris, people were buying like 50 at a time. It was crazy, and then putting them on eBay for too much. No matter how much you want a bag, don't give in to those kind of people. It's just wrong on so many levels. As I found with that bag, it did eventually get stocked on Shop Disney UK, and I was able to get it for its retail price. And I think it actually worked out on Shop Disney to be cheaper than at Disneyland Paris. So, you know, even better. And my other rule when it comes to collecting Loungeflies, because I do know a lot of collectors over here in the UK that do get like Hot Topic exclusives and Box Lunch exclusives and all these different American brand exclusives before waiting for them to come over into the UK, because there are obviously different avenues you can go down. You can go with personal shoppers over there, you can get resellers, there's so many different ways you can go through. But as I have done a video on my my tips on collecting Loungefly. I can't remember what it's called. I'll leave it up here. But one of them is basically about like when Loungefly is looking at where its sales are coming from. If you're getting a personal shopper to buy something for you in America, that's going to go down as a sale in America, like on their little tally list. So they're going to keep sending more stock to America and less over to the UK. Because if they don't think UK is buying much, they're not going to send us much over here. So that's why I always think it's important to wait and support official supplies over here, because then the more sales they get, the more Loungefly knows they need to send stuff over here. That probably makes no sense. I explain it better in the video. So those are all of my top 5 Loungefly bags for the year. This is now apparently becoming an annual video. So if you are a Loungefly collector, do let me know in the comments down below what your current grail is. Is there any on my list that you would like? Do let me know in the comment section down below. And if you'd like to see more of moi, do click subscribe down below. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!